Welcome to the 290th episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined as always by Chronicle editor Eric Schwartz, and we're joined in spirit by sponsors Goebel Septic, The Roof Doctor, Americool Heating and Air Conditioning, CrossCounty Mortgage with Jacek Gillispie, and the Farm Store. I got him that time.
There you go. Good job. Just spouting off with past sponsors.
You know what? They're always forever in my heart.
It's true. You get tattoos of all of our sponsors. I think that's something people don't know.
It's true. That brief Paradise Video sponsorship we had lives forever in infamy.
Every time you use the restroom, you are reminded.
Preambles. How did the fair turn out?
I mean, sick fair. People are saying it was the greatest fair of all time.
Do we have receipts yet?
Not a single person complained that this fair was not like the fair that they experienced in their childhood. Not one.
Do you follow former occasional photographer Jesse Smith's?
Oh, yeah.
He had a good fair reel, and I like that.
He was correct. I remember going to my first fair at like 17 or 18 here, and immediately people were telling me how it wasn't as good as the fairs when they were younger.
Of course not.
It's just never going to be.
You can't even buy a switchblade at this fair. What happened?
Is it possible that the fair is just as good as it was, and maybe you are the problem, and you have reduced in quality since childhood fair time?
Absolutely. I was at the Clark County Fair a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you went
down there for a concert, and they've got a ride where it's like a pendulum and it swings and the seats all spin out. I was convinced kids were going to die. And I sat and watched it waiting for kids to die.
I'm pretty sure I'd have to show you the photo. It's in our state news section, but we ran a story from the Oregonian online. Kids got stuck upside down on a pendulum swinging ride that spun and such.
Okay.
And they were both paid out $250,000 apiece by a jury ruling this week.
You know what? If I was a kid, I'd take that.
Yeah, you take the $250,000. They were upside down for 25 minutes. It said, and feared for their lives. You got to think everybody else on that ride is suing now, right?
Do you think they paid them out in cash or like ride tickets?
They gave them a wristband for $250,000 worth of rides, so each of them will get 5 to 10 rides.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Any other preambles you want to get to before we jump into the news?
No, the Pacific County Fair is going, right?
I think that started today, yeah.
I saw today that they are copying the Southwest Washington Fair. They have a Little Miss Pacific County. Last year they had the first one. I'm not disparaging the Pacific County Fair.
It's a fine fair.
But this is twice in 1 year that the style of the Southwest Washington Fair has been bitten because the Thurston County Fair did a, what do they call it? A kiddie crawl. It's a diaper derby, and they just kind of took it. And I'm not, again, not being critical of the babies here, but just tells you how good of a fair we have that surrounding fairs are taking our ideas.
Do you feel like, when you say that, do you feel like the frat boys in the movie Neighbors where they're like, we invented beer pong and shotgunning and all that?
Yeah. I mean, I've never watched that picture, but it sounds accurate.
It's a pretty good movie. All right, news. First up, federal agent in Lewis County set to retire after storied career, and this is Adna boy Chris Fay, my former neighbor.
Tell me, how does he relate to the big Fay?
Brother.
So we're talking Napa Vine Fay?
Yeah, Chris Fay is the oldest of the four boys. There's Chris, Toby, Josh, and Jake.
I gotcha. Okay.
So
interesting.
The U.S. Marshal's photo of him accompanying the story.
I've never seen anything so grand.
That is the thickest mustache I've ever seen. And I worked under Sam Bakatich.
Yeah.
No. An incredible mustache on Chris there.
Bakatich's mustache would cower in a corner if that mustache walked into the room.
It's incredible.
Farmer met him and interviewed him and took a photo, like a current photo to run with it, and he turned that in late after I had already laid it out. And the mustache was so ample that I had to run the shaved because now he's heading to retirement. And there's no mustache. He looks like a completely different person.
Yeah. He served 25 years in federal law enforcement. He's believed to be the only person who has worked as a criminal investigator for the DEA, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, and the U.S. Marshals Service. He was a Chehalis cop back in the 90s, and then he got to chatting with some feds and applied to be in the DEA, and he was accepted into its training academy. This is the line from the story. He described being conflicted about joining until an older colleague at the police department told him every young person should go on their own odyssey. Quote, if it's meant to be, they'll return home one day, Faye said. And this is the kind of
Don't
thing...
Don't bring that woke garbage around here.
This is the kind of thing you get when you send your boy Farmer, a good reporter, out to chat with Chris Faye, a quotable, entertaining dude. You get a good Odyssey quote. Timely, I thought. I thought that was great.
It was. It was a really good story.
Did you see the Odyssey yet?
No.
No.
I just told you my reasons,
Uh-huh.
I heard they were, inaccurate to the text when it comes to race and culture issues.
They made the Cyclops gay.
I heard the Cyclops was trans. That's what I heard. But.
Yeah. Anyway, Odyssey good, story good. Congrats, Chris Faye, on his retirement.
I do want to see
the Grange.
The Odyssey.
I think he's going to be a farmer now.
So it's not like a true retirement. He's going into farming.
I mean, a lot of farmers consider themselves partially retired, I guess.
Mm. And his big write up from a farmer.
Yeah. Wow. Another
I blew you away there.
Around. All right, now on to some hard news. Cannabis sales win Lewis County approval in limited fashion. The commissioners passed this on Tuesday, 2 days ago. The approved version is significantly pared down. He spelled pared wrong from what was presented to start the meeting after Commissioner Sean Swope offered an amendment to only allow the sales in the Packwood urban growth area. Scott Brummer voted against this in his own backyard. Oh, man. How do I get this? Hold on. I think I can skip the ad in a second.
Get out of here, Dewey.
What are y'all doing in here?
We're smoking reefer.
It's the
And you don't want no
Lounge.
part of this shit.
You're smoking reefers?
Yeah, of course we are. Can't you smell it?
No, Sam. I can't.
Come on, Dewey. Join the party.
No, Dewey. You don't want this. Get out of here.
Should we just
You know
let it
what?
roll?
I don't want no hangover.
I mean,
I
I'm
can't get no
enjoying it now.
hangover.
It doesn't give you a hangover.
Well, I'll get addicted to it or something?
It's not habit forming.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know. I don't want to overdose on it.
You can't OD on it.
It's not going to make me want to have sex, is it?
It makes sex even better.
Sounds kind of expensive.
It's the cheapest drug there is.
It's really great, Tim Meadows.
You don't want it.
I think I kind of want it.
Okay, but just this once. Come on.
All right, that was, of course, from Walk Hard. Scott Brummer's quote, when we have additional locations for people to access marijuana, we are going to see increased usage of underage, both children and young adults. I find that to be a significant problem when we talk about wanting to protect our children. He added, and another thing, we need to get a better grip on this dancing epidemic. First it's a twist, then the jitterbug, and the next thing you know, your daughter's in a freak-off down at the Grange Hall and won't be fit for marriage.
Freak Off at the Grange. That's got to be an album title.
Our boy Roy Talbot was at the meeting too. Winlock's Roy Talbot. He said, the reason to my understanding to allow this is revenue from the state. I don't think that revenue is really going to match what I'm looking at losing at the possibilities of this.
I really respected the forthcoming nature of that comment. Like, this affects me personally.
No, that was good. Lewis County Public Health and Social Services Director Mia Hanlon asked that the revenue go to law enforcement in hopes it could free up funding for youth prevention programs. That's good. And by allowing sales but not manufacturing, the county will be eligible to receive a share of the state cannabis tax revenue based on the percentage of sales in the county. It will not be eligible to receive another portion of revenue distributed based on population. So I ask you, is this good or is this bad?
I mean, the whole point is to generate revenue, and the initial proposal that came forward, I think, also included the UGA of, like, Onalaska, if I'm not mistaken, and allowed for more potential businesses, thus more potential revenue. So I don't know. It feels like if they wanted to get into the cannabis revenue from the state government business, that's a success. So they're expanding it. There's no moratorium. I believe Yakima County still has a moratorium on pot.
Really? Yakima County?
Not the city, I don't think, but the county, I'm pretty sure. And I think, I don't want to say most, but a lot of counties over there still have that moratorium. And Lewis County is not in that group anymore. So they're allowing it just in specific places. And they said at most Packwood could get 2 shops. Do you think they will get both shops?
I mean, Packwood's pretty small. I think they'll get 2.
I feel like there's probably demand for it, right? In the winter season. I don't know much about stoner culture, but I'm told the winter sports crowd partakes at a slightly higher level than some other sports. You know,
I think if you were going to open a pot shop, Packwood would be a good spot just based on the tourism angle.
yeah, and
People out
that's
there
what I was
vacationing.
gonna say in the
They want to
summer.
go on vacation. They want to kick back, smoke some pot, hang in a hammock.
If you talk to people who come here, some people who come here to Washington, that is, there's still a little element of novelty to pot being legal, like being able to go into a store. So I do think that there's probably a good amount of people that enter Packwood because they're interested in Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, or whatever else, and that they'll be delighted by a pot shop.
Sure.
And I do think the county needs the money. They never don't need it, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So it seems like a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, congrats Packwood on entering the drug game. Election finance roundup. Lewis County Sheriff race records more than $100,000 in campaign spending. This is Jacob Moore, right? Mm-hmm. Just going through the numbers, the PDC reports. From the story, possibly the biggest disconnect between fundraising and votes captured was in the Lewis County coroner primary, where incumbent coroner Warren McLeod captured more than 50% of the vote without raising or spending a dime. What a flex for Warren.
He was the only incumbent to get over 50% in a contested one.
In the commissioner race.
Or primary, sorry.
All right. In the commissioner race, Scott Brummer advanced while raising roughly one-fifth the amount of money as Mike Hadler and spending even less. He raised $6,300 and has $3,800 left.
It's a war chest, my friend.
The fundraising is significantly lower than his effort in 2022. Brummer, low effort? Hard to believe. In that contest, Brummer was the biggest fundraiser among the commissioner candidates, bringing in around $26,000. Hadler has raised $30,000 and has spent $28,000. That leaves him with just over $2,000 left on hand moving forward before any additional fundraising. Do you feel, professionally, he blew his wad early?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot. Are you talking about Hadler?
Yeah.
A lot of his own money, as you said, is part of that. I mean, if you're backing yourself for an office and you're willing to put your money there, I don't got any problem with that. He's probably going to put more money in, I would assume.
If you were running for office, how much of your own money would you put in?
I would never run for office. I don't want it that bad. It's one of the defining traits of politicians that I will never find endearing, not to be a criticism, but, I mean, you can't really call someone a try-hard if you're a politician. I don't mean that in anyone's particular direction. I just mean you are the king of try-hards if you're running for high office.
And dumping your own money into the campaign.
Yeah. But I would put $0 in just because I can't even imagine a world where I'd be interested in something like that. How about you?
No.
No money?
No, absolutely not. I
You'd
wouldn't
spend
run
other
for anything.
people's monies, though.
I mean, sure. Go ahead, make your jokes.
No, that's one of the things I liked about, we were talking about this. We don't always do this. We get different reporters in here. They cycle in and out. It's like a 2-3 year cycle. And they're all interested in different things, and Moore is interested in campaign finance, and so he put this together, and I've been here for 20 years. I can't remember the last time we did this in local races, because it's not like the big, Congress. What does Glusenkamp Perez have, like $6 million or something? And Braun's like $2 or $3 million or something like that. I thought it was fun. It was a nice little snapshot to kind of learn how much stake some of these candidates have, like personal stakes in their own candidacy.
In the sheriff's race, Tracy Murphy is the biggest fundraiser in the county and has also seen a big influx of cash above $4,000 in the weeks since the primary election. According to the PDC, Murphy has raised $43,600, with roughly $39,000 of that coming in ahead of the August 4th primary. He has just under $10,000 in cash on hand as of this week. Despite being a latecomer to the sheriff's race, Gabe Fraze has raked in $38,000 ahead of the primary and actually outspent Murphy by just over $1,000. He spent $35,000. According to the PDC, Fraze contributed just over $16,000 to the campaign himself, mostly in the form of in-kind donations. That's a lot.
Yeah, I have just said I don't have anything to really contextualize it against except for the other races, and comparing to this to the commissioner's race, I mean, apples and oranges for sure. It's the same type of thing, but way more money going into this one. So I'd be interested to see how much is spent by the end.
Have you ever donated to a campaign? I know you were old enough to donate to
Oh
Reagan.
man, do I want to answer that honestly?
W?
No, not W. It's a little it's a little worse.
Oh, no.
So I was a big fan of George W. I'm a child of 9/11. I was in high school. Just trying to give some background here
Okay,
before I
go
do the
ahead.
big reveal. And I made my one and only campaign donation to Rudy Giuliani's
Wow.
2008 presidential campaign. He didn't make it, obviously, into the general election. I read his book, and as I said, big 9/11 had a big impact on my life and trajectory, and I liked him, I liked the broken window policy towards crime. I liked a lot of what he was pushing back then, and that was the one time.
And you never stopped being a fan.
I did stop being a fan. Have you donated to anyone?
I don't think I have.
I don't. Mine was like $5. It was like an envelope in the mail, and it was like performative political involvement by myself. Just like I'm supporting the guy. I'm 21 years old. I know what's happening.
He was America's mayor there for a couple years.
He was.
No longer.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure like what year that would have been because I said 2000. Yeah, it was 2000. That cycle, 2008. So
Okay.
it would have been 2006, 2007 when I made that questionable investment.
Okay.
In retrospect.
All right. And the only other news item I have on here, we can hit some stuff at the end if you can think of a few things. Hundreds gather to celebrate and mourn Pastor Cole Meckley.
Yep.
The longtime gathered church pastor. Just another chance for us to mention all the hard work he did and the good work, the selfless work he did in Centralia.
We covered it. Jacob Moore went to it, asked permission first, got permission from the family. I believe he met with a member of the family ahead of time. But we obviously did not want to take photos at a funeral. It seems something you won't do. But the way it was described to me, it was just absolutely standing room only and a really interesting cross-section of life in Lewis County. The people that came out from, your politicians whose names to just people that he helped. And I continue to think he's a person that should be remembered.
All right. This podcast is sponsored by Goebel Septic, The Roof Doctor, Americool Heating and Air Conditioning, CrossCounty Mortgage with Jacek Gillispie, and The Farm Store. Do you have anything interesting from the opinion page?
Got nothing but interesting from the opinion page. Let's see what we got here. Hillary Clinton can question elections, but Trump can't. Letter to the editor.
Trump can question elections, as he has.
Well, he's saying you shouldn't criticize him. And hey, I did forget that Hillary Clinton did call Trump I'm not jumping on this line of thought, but she did press pretty hard into him being an illegitimate president.
Well, she's just an emotional woman.
I didn't
obviously
say that. Just saying, it was a letter. It was an opinion. The person made an opinion. I mean, I'll get to that in a second here. The rich should pay their fair share in taxes, so the rest of us pay less. Aaron.
Sure.
Wayne Fournier, both of you make way too much money. Jim Walsh is aiding and abetting a deranged tyrant. Another letter. And then privacy, data, and flock cameras. A lot of letters. I've been trying to stay really on top of processing letters as they come through and not letting them get piled up. Julie McDonald had a really good column. She interviewed Sean Murphy. He's a family genealogist, researcher. He also researches missing military folks and things like that. Just about kind of finding out his law officer grandfather had a whole criminal side life and kind of falsified some birth certificates. It was just interesting, really good Julie stuff. And then Brian Mitke name dropped you in his column. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, am I in there?
His column titled "The Guys Need a Crown: A New Vision for the Hay King." He wants to bring the Hay King back.
Yeah, they should bring it back.
There was a Hay Queen announced this year, but not a Hay King.
The Hay King, if I'm remembering right, that is just the finest bale of hay, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Absolutely bring it back.
He's calling for a reinvigoration. Is that a word of the title, and to make it like royalty. And this person would go into parades, represent the fair. He says, "I'd like to see a celebrated return of the Hay King, perhaps in a different form." For the 21st century, I propose a bale bucking competition and other feats of strength and skill to declare a teenage Hay King.
Boy, 18-year-old me would have been just pumping iron in the driveway, getting ready for that.
How about a foot race carrying a bale in each hand? How
Done it.
high can you toss it? 6 bales high. 7, how straight and high can you stack? How red is your neck? How distinct is your farmer's tan?
This is just written for teenage me.
Guys aged 16 to 19 are invited. Strength, farm savvy, and rugged good looks. That's where you fall off. All combined to make a future Hay King, Lewis County's once and future guy royalty. And I'm on board. I think that's a good idea.
Right on parades, wearing a worn-out baseball cap, tossing tiny bales of twine to all eager children, holding his fist in the air in victory, and generally flexing his muscles. I mean, this...
I just don't know why he went through such lengths to describe Cody Christian without saying Cody Christian's name, our former photographer and beloved boy, Cody Christian. He would have been an excellent Hay King.
Absolutely.
He hits all those marks. Let's see. Other than that, it's just the long and short of the opinion page.
You mentioned this Jim Walsh letter. Jim Walsh is aiding and abetting a deranged tyrant. Was there any feedback you personally received on this?
I mean, there was the usual, people feel strongly about Jim Walsh, right? They really like him.
But how did Jim Walsh feel?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sure he didn't like it. But no. It is like it was another. I have to kind of relearn this, or I guess recalibrate my thinking from time to time. It's one of those letters where it's just like, Chronicle trash, liberal garbage, and then you go to the letter before that, which was the Hillary can claim election fraud, but Trump can't. I don't know how clear I can be that if you submit a letter, it's under 500 words, and it is an opinion, it's going to run. And I think sometimes we get a run of conservative letters where we have 4 or 5 in a row. That happened more when Biden was in charge of things, if I'm being honest. And then you'll get 4 or 5 liberal ones in a row. And it's like, if you can't take an opinion as an opinion, like maybe you just need to do a little more like self-examination, right? Like if you look at something, you're like, I disagree with that. You're going after my boy Jim Walsh. This paper is a rag. Not like really taking the next thought, which is I could write to this paper, call them a rag, and tell them all the reasons why Jim Walsh is great, and it will get the exact same treatment in the next news cycle. So if you hate a letter, write a letter, and tell us tell us why the person was completely wrong, and tell us why. Just write a letter. It'll run. It's just it's not a perfect system. I don't pretend that it is, but in a different vein, I got a letter to the editor from a person last week, and this week they were asking why it hadn't run, and maybe it was submitted earlier than that. The whole letter was about how there was a proposal for an AI data center in the port of Centralia, a massive one, and that they were going to use floodwater to cool it down. You might recall this as a satirical headline from the Lewis County Canoes. Just more evidence. Not everybody gets the satire, so I had wrote them back and was like, that's not a real thing. Here's a link to it, though. They should know they're having that impact. I see you have their sticker here on your...
I do, yeah, big
Lewis
fan.
County
I like their work.
Lewis County Canoes, it's not canoes as in the water vessel. News, Knews.
But pronounced canoes.
They announced something last week that they're not allowed to share links anymore. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Facebook has this new thing. It hasn't hit us yet.
Thank God.
No, I mean, we'll figure it out. But they're going for this thing where they want you to pay for the ability to post links. Unlimited links. So if you want to post unlimited links on Facebook a month, eventually it's going to be like $490 a month is the charge. And then it's a scale that goes all the way down, I think, to like $10 or $15, and you get 2 links or something like that a day.
I don't like that at all.
But no, I don't either. Whatever. They're a private business. They can do whatever they want, even if it's like driving off a cliff. But I don't know. That seems unfair to the Lewis County Canoes to be the first ones that get hit with that.
The Canoes is hosting a Best of Lewis County competition.
I saw that.
Best podcast is on there. So
that's interesting. We'll definitely not win that. So.
If we do, should we contest the vote?
I saw some of their Best of Lewis County stuff. There's some funny stuff there that I wouldn't really spill out into the open, but I will say that at some points in time, there are people that make efforts using technology to get more votes than other people in categories, and it stands out like a sore thumb on the back end. Uh-huh. Like if the top votes, you got 5,000 nominations or something, and the next one's like 450,000 nominations, we kind of think like something's up. Mm-hmm. That's relevant. Are you
pointing a finger at
no.
Best local police officer Rob Snaza?
No, certainly not. Not at anyone. But when that does happen, there is some minor investigation that goes on where we're like, okay, that's not somebody's gaming it. But I also get the feelings from people on the overall Best of Lewis County, Best of South Sound. It is a vehicle for advertising. But as far as I know, the votes are fair.
Before we hit the rest of the segments, I'm going to go directly to Facebook comments of the week on the letter roasting Jim Walsh.
Okay.
This commenter says, maybe if the people who ran the media via TV and the papers were not so Brian-washed, capital B, on the Democratic side, things would be even. I think he meant brainwashed. Another commenter said, if I want BS, I read the Chronicle. And then yet another letter commenter said, again, I want to thank the Chronicle for such diversity, equity, and inclusion, for giving the mentally ill a voice. Buddy, why do you think we have a Facebook comments of the week section?
I mean, they're all commenting, though. They're all feeding the churn. Is unfortunately what they're doing. Is by doing that, you're guaranteeing that the next letter that you hate will appear in your newsfeed prominently, and then you'll probably comment on that one too, and then we'll get more followers. It's kind of like a whole thing. But I don't mind it. I mean, the letters are to generate discussion, and I don't expect all of it to be the highest brow of discussion. There's going to be some low blows in the comments. I'm fine with that. But I just like, if someone wrote me a letter that said, actually, that letter writer's wrong and Jim Walsh is actually a fantastic conservative vote and otherwise Democratic hellscape, that'll run too. Like, there's no one's picking and choosing. I just feel like people should examine the source. It feels lazy to just be like, well, the media is against me. Like, it's like conspiratorial, and it's just not practical. We don't meet. I have no meetings with the rest of the media.
Well, okay.
I mean, us and the Nisqually Valley News are pretty tight. I won't lie about that.
And the Thurston Chronicle.
The Thurston Chronicle.
The Thurston Chronicle.
Yeah, we run thick, but I don't know.
All right, Sirens Banger of the Week. The only one I've got is this juvenile convinced to send nude images to an online stranger they met on TikTok. Once the photos were provided, the stranger threatened to leak the photos to the victim's friends and family if they did not send money. This was late Tuesday night. Look, we've been over this. If somebody asks you for nude pictures, just don't send them. Show them in person. Show them on their doorstep.
No, I see that though, but I also have I have 3 young children. One of them's not on the internet yet, thank goodness. But like, that's like a horror story. Like, they spend times on tablet, they play games, they get on Roblox, which has a pretty spotted track record when it comes to being a place where predators go. And I can see how that could, despite anything a good parent could do, I could see how something like that could happen because you're manipulating kids. I hated that. I hated that story. I can't believe you made that your Science Banger of the Week, you son of a bitch.
What would your
you want more of this?
What would
Are you not entertained?
What would your dad say if 17-year-old you had been like, so?
I mean, there would be some technological questions if I pulled it off with my Nokia phone that I got my freshman year of college. It just wasn't a possibility back then. That's why I feel for the kids. I do think that society's moving in a direction to be more protective of them on the internet, but I feel like that's the number one place you're going to get corrupted. It makes me sound like the 40-year-old I am, but it's true. I weep for today's children. It's tough.
All right, People's Champion of the Week. I've got the Lewis County Swiftwater Rescue and Swiftwater Rescue's Technical Rescue Team and the Lewis County Search and Rescue Team, who rescued a climber from an East Lewis County canyon.
Yeah, I want to know where the canyon is. This is the first time we've had canyoneering in the paper in a long time. They were like scrambling around.
Forest Road 63 and Davis Creek Road for the rescue.
Yeah,
I've never been there. Looks cool. Kind of want to go out there now.
You're not going to like this, kind of a curveball, but my People's Champion of the Week is Matt Calkins of the Seattle Times.
Oh.
He quit his job today, or yesterday, or recently.
Canceled.
He wanted to write an opinion that was basically not calling the kids that want the initiative to pass that prevents trans girls from being in girls' sports. They showed up to a Seattle Storm game, got a bad time from one of the co-owners. That's all been like well reported. And he had what I thought was a very reasonable, probably majority take on the situation, was just don't attack the kids. Like, you can't just call them hateful. You know, they don't hate the trans people because this is something that they're in favor of. The Times would not run it, which is disappointing to me.
Has there been any comment from the Times on that?
No, not that I've seen. I've not seen. And I'm not of the crowd that's like, oh, Seattle Times woke leftists. Like, the Seattle Times is the best newspaper in the Pacific Northwest, and if you don't believe that, you're not a consumer of news, like volume and quality. And they might do some stuff that's questionable on the opinion page that you don't like. And even if I'm being honest, some of their climate coverage to me seems a little too hell-bent on convincing everyone of a certain point. But they're a fantastic newspaper. I was kind of surprised. I was actually shocked when I saw Brandy Cruz break this morning. I was like, oh, man, because you and I talk about Matt Calkins because I won't throw you in on this. I thought he was a poor takesman. I didn't like his takes.
His takes are often milquetoast.
Yeah, there's just, you can kind of look at the Mariners, how they're doing, for instance, and know what Calkins is going to say.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't a fan, but so it kind of shocked me that he was taking such a professional stand on this. Outside of the issue, it just playing into what I was saying about our own opinion page. Like, if we got an opinion piece like that from a columnist, I mean, there's no question. We run it. McCroskey has
of course.
had much harder takes in the past. And likewise, we've had much harder takes the other way. It just feels to me, if you're a newspaper, local newspaper, and you profess to share the opinions of all your readers, then you got to do that. And you can't just be like, well, this one's going to get us a really hard time, so we're not going to do it. Like, regardless, it is one of our best columns. It's one of their opinions, but no, we're deciding on this one. This is a topic that we're not allowed to have an opinion on.
I think you will be able to read a lot into what really happened by what Calkins does next.
Sure.
If he immediately picks up a job with like Outkick the coverage or something, you can be like, okay, well, I kind of see what was happening.
Or you
here.
could also say he was pushed to that. I mean, I
Sure.
could see that as being a plausible thing. But I mean, he was there for what, 10 years? I think
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
Which is a long time to be
a lot of columns.
to be at a newspaper. And that's like, I don't know if that's still the case for up-and-comers, but that's like a dream job. Like, to be a columnist for a major daily newspaper.
Did he take over for Steve Kelly? Larry Stone, maybe?
The timing might line up for one of those, for sure. But, I mean, that's a great job. That's not something you just walk away from. That's like a pinnacle of your career type thing. In fact, when I wrote down my goals in high school, I said I wanted to be a sports columnist at a major newspaper or a editor at a small newspaper.
Well, look at you.
My dreams came true, Aaron.
And you've been cursed ever since.
Exactly.
My other People's Champion of the Week was the Judah Beard, the kid that makes comics.
You're right.
like this
You know
little
what?
feature.
Forget I like him. He is my number one.
Yeah. How are his comics?
I thought they were great. I mean, they're not like, he's not trying to be edgy or anything, but they were funny, and the characters were cool, and the actual art was fun. Did you look at any of them?
I'm looking at him now. Yeah.
I liked the graduated cylinder one. That hit my
I like
demographic.
This town is kind of sketchy. That's good.
Tell
That's
me,
a
what
good
do you
bit.
feel about the island one? I think it's the last one that's listed there. Give that one a read.
All it is, nothing to cat, nothing to eat. He's gonna eat the cat.
See, yeah, like
or is John the cat?
see. That was why the first time the reason it's ranked last was my stupid opinion. I was just like, I don't get that one immediately, and then like we posted them all online, and that's like everybody's favorite. And then I like read it like how you just did, and I was like, you clever Judah, like that's really good. And that was that whole thing was just him sending us an email that was just like, hey, I just wanted to have you guys have a look at this, and I was like, hey, we can. Farmer. This is a farmer joint.
Yeah.
We can write up a little short thing and share your stuff. I hope we get more stuff like that from kids.
Yeah, I like
think
that.
that's like fun, and there's really nothing you can say too critical or hateful. It's just good, pure content for the internet.
The only other Facebook comment of the week I had was on the story about Adna hosting its midnight football practice to kick off the season. This commenter said, we did this back in 2014 in Winlock, and then week one rolls around and we're down 68-0 to Wharton White Pass at halftime. LMFAO. Good luck this season, fellas.
I like that was good. My favorite thing about that Adna story is our high school sports department is coming out of a summer slumber.
Yeah.
They go hard in the paint during the season, and football practice started that day. I'd say we've had that story posted for, a couple hours when the first message rolled in that was just like, you guys do know there's another school besides Adna in Lewis County, don't you? And I was like, we're starting the season like that. Like, Zach's running around. I think he's done 6 practices since then, and we have Centralia up today, another good preview story.
Yeah,
and
so
we will hit
Centralia
them
preview.
all. But, man, usually it takes like a couple of weeks into the season for someone to start calling us a favorite or accusing us of offering favoritism. It's always Adna, too.
Yeah, people always hate Adna.
Adna or Napavine. No one ever complains about the other stuff.
No, it's always, it's true.
It's just you're giving too much coverage. But they're good at sports, usually.
They're good at sports, and they get featured a lot because this was always my philosophy when I was in that department. If if Adna or Napline is in a big game and it's close by,
Yeah.
you can easily get to that game and then get to something else or get back to the office and take calls. It's just a logistics thing more than anything else.
And it's also just like, I think, a long-time sports department philosophy thing, because we just hired a new photo editor. We'll have to get him in here when he arrives, late September, early October, whenever he gets here. I made sure to ask them, like, so what do you think about sports? Is like, do you think we got the two biggest districts? Should we cover them every week because that covers the most kids, or should we, cover excellence because we cover 16 different districts? So follow around whoever's doing the best. And it was an even split when I did that question in the interviews. There's a lot of them who are like, oh yeah, you go for your two biggest schools every week and you take call-ins from the others. And I appreciate this because it gets us into other communities. More often.
It gets the people going.
It shares the wealth.
And like in Lewis County especially, like the people at the Centralia and Chehalis people also know what's going on. They keep tabs on what's going on at the small schools, and vice versa is the same. It's a fairly small sporting community when you look at it like that. All these kids play together on like summer teams. They know each other. They're like, they keep up on each other. It's pretty intermingled, and with the transfer rules now, that's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that when Sports Dump rolls back.
You think people are reading the Chronicle to pick up kids?
Probably, yeah. Recruiting.
I could see it.
What did we miss in the news section that you want to talk about?
Oh, what did we miss in the news section that I want to talk about? Like I said, we have a Centralia football preview up. I think today, Zach and Otto, our sports guy and photographer, hit WF West and Rochester. Maybe one other one. And so those are going to they're going to quickly roll out. You'll probably have a few different previews in the weekend edition. We have this new news item from the intern, Lewis County couple in quarterfinals of 2026, America's favorite couple competition. And I just want to know, Aaron, how come we aren't in this competition?
I was just going to ask the same thing. Who forgot to enter the
we have quite the meet cute. I mean,
we've been together for almost 20 years now.
Solid. I enjoyed this one though. It was one of those things in these contests we get an email and they ask us to help, and we're happy to do it because most of the time they'll send us a photo and what amounts to a news release, which is here's how we met, or if it's a kid in a contest, and we're happy to do it. These two met at Applebee's. How many love stories don't start at Applebee's? That's my question.
Well, a lot of them end at Applebee's.
They said, if there's one thing we'd want people to take away from our story, it's this. Please don't give up on love. Don't let a few heartbreaks, bad experiences, or the state of the world convince you that the kind of love you hope for isn't out there. Sometimes the person who feels like home is still waiting for you, and sometimes you find them working beside you at your local Applebee's in a little corner of Lewis County. I just loved that. I thought it was beautiful. There's still hope for you, Aaron.
Maybe.
Personally, I met my wife at Garby's in Chehalis. First laid honor at the pub, also in Chehalis. Mm-hmm. True romance story.
Absolutely. Who among us has not fallen in love at Garby's in the pub?
I mean, it's intoxicating.
Anything else, or shall we wrap it up there?
We got a big new fire out in Pacific County, Lewis County line. I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to have a story up on it soon, though. It'll be a Chinook Observer story. Did you see the Thurston County Jail inmate critical condition after symptoms misdiagnosed? They thought this woman was suffering from drug withdrawal. Yeah. Turns out it was something else, and now she's in critical care. And apparently some really bad decisions were made because the nurse who made the call, as far as I can tell, has already been fired. So there was no fact-finding, and they just moved on. Visiting Nurses Foundation has a new home, a new office at 243 Northwest Chehalis Avenue. Reported on that. Next Gen Children's Salon. I think we should go in there and see if they'll cut our hair in the race cars. Do you see that? It's a new children's salon over, I think it's in the Fairway Center. They got a race car. They got a jet. You can sit there.
Did your mom still cut your hair?
No, my wife cuts my hair. Prior to that, my mother did cut my hair, and then I moved to Montana for a year and a half. Had to get a haircut from someone non-familial, and I just walked in, and I was like, hey, I need a cut. And they were like, what do you want me to do with it? And I was like, I have no idea what to tell you right now.
You couldn't FaceTime your mom at that point.
And I just have to say it was the worst haircut I've ever gotten in my life. And I've never tipped more because I didn't know what the industry standard was. I was just like, this is my first time paying for a haircut. Seems expensive. Let's see. We got Thurston County repeat offender sentenced to 11 years for distributing meth. This one I just thought was funny. I had Ty, our intern, type this one up. the feds, the Justice Department went out of their way to note that his nickname is Fat Nate, which I thought was funny. They were just like, they listed his name, otherwise known as Fat Nate. The intern left that note out of the write-up, and I'd used it as a teachable moment. I was, if anyone has a sweet nickname like Fat Nate,
throw that in there.
That makes it in the headline. Like, you got to get that in. Other than that, that's probably the gist of it. The national or the state story that got the most traction for us this week, I don't know if you saw that one. Portland, there was a homeless man who broke into a building.
I did see this.
That was a wild story.
The owner threw a cup of pee. Why did he have a cup of pee?
I don't know. I think it's in the second update. It ran online, and I think we're getting it in the weekend paper. But yeah, they had a jury trial. I think what did he want? Like $3 million or something like that. He wanted a lot of money. And the jury ruled he was entitled to $0, and you know how that story played around here.
Yeah, you know what? I was on the homeowner side on that one.
I mean, that's a really bold lawsuit.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, that was my first question reading the story. It was just like, who has just readily available
cup of
urine just sitting there? Or do you think it was like a load in the musket situation? He was like, oh no, and you like grab the cup. He's like, I'm gonna get you.
Well, at that point, you wouldn't use the cup. You just fire an aim, you know.
And yeah, shot him 3 times. Like, I mean, there's probably not worse repercussions from breaking into a place than getting shot 3 times and having urine thrown in your face.
Yeah. Did he shoot him and then dump the pee on him, or like
I don't know,
like a Home Alone situation? He walks through the door and it falls on him. And
hot take, I think I would rather exploding fermented fish eggs in the face than strangers' urine.
I mean, you could recover from the urine.
That's true. So we had no history takes this week, though. I noticed that.
I didn't see him in there.
There was one. Just buried in there.
We'll get it next week.
All right.
In closing, we're sponsored by Goebel Septic, The Roof Doctor, Americool Heating and Air Conditioning, CrossCounty Mortgage with Jacek Gillispie, and The Farm Store. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you'd like, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.